Good evening. This is the Angry Capitalist, and today starts the new year. This is January 1st of 2024, and what I'm looking to do for a video for today is I'm just going to do a review of a way that I personally like to start the new year, which is just going over my personal financial situation. I break this down each year into kind of two ways of looking at the previous year, and then also doing some planning for the year ahead. The first thing I'm going to look at is cash flows. So this would be the cash flow from the previous year in regards to, what did I earn? What did I spend? Did I have any huge problems or issues or changes that I had to make from what I was originally planning? So what I'm doing right now is I'm sharing a screen. So some of the figures on here are changed or adjusted to kind of just to change up from what I'm personally actually spending or have allocated for my own purposes. But this overall is pretty accurate, or it shows kind of the inflow and the outflow of what I actually spent for the year. So starting off, this is technically what you could call like a personal income statement, or a personal income tracker. One, I use spreadsheets. I'm kind of a caveman on that still. I know that there are spender tracking apps that you can download onto your phone and connect your banking applications and use. I just haven't had great success with any of those. So if you who are watching this happen to know of one that you like and that it works pretty well, please go ahead, comment that down below. I would love to find something that's a little bit more automated. But at the same time, though, at least for the end of the year, I like to actually go in and put it out on a spreadsheet. Part of the reason for that being is just it's a good practice and it's a good exercise to do to get you into the mindset and to help to encourage some of that financial discipline. So we can see here for 2023 total, this is my salary, commissions total, post taxes. New York State hates me, so my take-home pay was only like $33,000. Then down below that, I have my rental income, so I own or occupy a duplex, and this is the amount here that I got from my tenants. And this is the dividends total in my stock account. Total income, just under 4,300 take home. I think my gross was like 63, 65. So investing. So this is expenses. So down below here, this is where the money flowed into. So first I do a section for investing activities. This is set up a little bit differently from how many income statements are set up. I personally adjusted this just to make sense to myself and how I tend to think about my own cash flow. So this is one of the other benefits that I like about doing a spreadsheet is it's way more personalized. So I've got my expenses and then I've got investing activities. So this is the cash flows that went into investing. So we can see my savings account. This specifically is for the savings account that acts as my war chest, so to speak. So I have a savings account where I keep some of my personal money that's like it's there. It's my emergency fund that I don't have displayed on here and that I also will not have displayed on the second portion, the balance sheet. And then I've also got one for my realty income, meaning this is the savings account that my rental income goes into. and that also the mortgage gets withdrawn from. So I did not make any stock account or IRA contributions for 2023. Excuse me. My apologies, by the way, for being a little bit stuffy. It's so dry out right now. Mortgage payments. So with the duplex, because it's an asset that I own, although this is an expense, it is something that I do have to pay. In my mind, I acquired the asset via a loan, and I'm paying that asset off via the mortgage. So this is me buying my duplex back from the bank. So this is slowly accruing the equity in the asset. So that's why I keep that underneath the investing column here. Now, to be totally clear, if I own a single home in the future, I don't include paying for that as an investment expense. To me, that would just be a normal expenditure, which takes us down to this next section right here. So repairs. Although, yes, that does go towards the duplex, I still just put it underneath expenditures. So for 2023, I spent $2,400 in repairs. Loan payments. So this is for a loan that I'd gotten and had some repair work done back in 2022 when I'd first bought the place. I got a loan to fix a few things up as well as to repave the driveway. Although I had the repair done in 22, I only paid off part of that loan during 2022, and then I paid the rest of that off this past year. So there's the $1,700 to pay that off. Food expenses, a little almost $4,000 in food. Total phone bills, total internet, utilities, and then miscellaneous. So this is where this is where I'm hiding some of the other stuff, such as my emergency fund savings and a few other things. So if I'm buying gold or silver, I'm hiding the amount there from you guys, or any other item like that. Sorry. And then down here we have checking balance. So I was debating labeling this between just profit loss or petty cash. So this checking balance, what this reflects is my checking account plus the amount of cash I have on hand. So as of yesterday, I was at $676. Doop. And then this year I'm trying things a little bit differently. I didn't used to track each month this closely. And instead, I would just do this quarterly. But going into 2024, I'm changing this up a little bit. I want to keep track of this on more of a monthly basis. I tried that previously, but it was a pain in the ass. So I just said, screw it. I'm just going to do this once a quarter, meaning once every 3 months. Let's give it the old college try. I'm going to commit to doing this at least into July. We'll see if I stick with it this time or if I go back to doing a quarterly system. So today's the 1st. I get a salary component of $700 after tax. Have not collected any dividends or income for the rental as of yet. And my only expenses were, let's see, this morning I bought landscaping plants in advance. They'll be delivered to me in like a month or two. So $100 for those. I'm putting that underneath repairs. Maybe that should be repairs and improvement. And my phone bill and my internet bill. So far I've only spent $200 for the month. Granted, it is only the 1st. So we'll see. So checking balance, that brought us to $495. Okay, so that's the 675 plus the 495. So I don't have this set up to add back into itself. Maybe I should. If I post this for you guys to use, I'll go ahead and I'll make that change. But anyhow, going over to the next section. So most people in my estimation tend to think and follow and manage their personal finances, with an income statement, or as I call it, a personal cash flow statement. That's what's conventionally taught to us in school. That's what's most common in terms of a mindset. Now, what I often tend to like to include is a personal balance sheet. So here we go. One of the reasons why I set it up so that I also have a personal balance sheet that I'll track and I'll update this at the end of the month is I'm trying to continue to build the snowball of my personal wealth and of my personal cash flow as a result of my personal wealth. So by tracking my assets to liabilities, I'm thinking that that'll help out quite a bit. Once again, I used to only do this every quarter. I'm going to try and track this monthly as well. So here we go. So here's my savings account. So this is my war chest savings account, 5,500. Once again, I don't have my more personal one on here, but I do have my realty account. So this is the account whereby I allocate, pardon me. This is the account whereby I allocate cash to go into this account, and then my mortgage gets withdrawn. My apologies, from it. I like having multiple accounts set up, and that's how I kind of manage my cash flow. You may be familiar with the envelope system. Pretty similar. I just have different bank accounts. I don't need a physical envelope to do it. I just like the different accounts, and I can look at them adjust on the screen. Then we have petty cash / checking. So this amount here, this represents the total of my checking account and my cash. Roth IRA, got about $2,000 in there. I have not put a whole lot towards my Roth account. My big financial move in my early 20s has been this duplex. And then stock account, $600. I left that in there from like 2 years ago when I first bought this place. Yeah, I just have it sitting in there. Duplex. So this is the cost for the building that I bought, 2-unit duplex. The cost for the actual asset, not including the loan, was $152,000. But my interest down there is only 3%, so fuck it, that'll get inflated away in a hurry. My total assets come out to $161,000. And now I have my liabilities. So this is where I have my mortgage. And this was my mortgage balance as of the end of December. Credit card. So once again, for repairs, I did also put some repairs on my credit card. So I've got $1,800 sitting in there that I need to pay off still. And I have an IOU of $50. I went to I had a friend do some work for me, so I'm $50. So I keep track of this. So when I'm referring to assets and liabilities, one thing I want you to keep in mind is with assets, what I'm tracking are cash equivalents or cash flow generating assets. So for example, a personal vehicle, that's not something I include in my assets. So stuff like your house, if it's just your house, in my case, I'm living in a duplex and it's generating me revenue. But if it was just a single family house, I would not include that. I wouldn't include like a car, anything like that that's not generating cash flow or is very liquid or a cash equivalent, I would not include. However, I would still include the liabilities portion. So for say, if I don't just buy a vehicle out in cash, if I get a loan to purchase a vehicle, I would still include that in the liability section because you do have to pay it back. This is not conventional for most personal finance or for most accounting standards that are used for people's personal finances. This is a distinction that I purposefully make for myself. In all honesty, if you're not familiar with him, Robert Kiyosaki, author of Rich Dad Poor Dad, got a copy right next to me that I'm going to send out to a buddy soon. That's a distinction that he talks about, and it's one that I've adopted for myself. I think for the purposes of improving your personal finances, your personal wealth, that's a really good mindset to have. So then our total liabilities, $143,850. And my net worth is a whopping $17,500. Woohoo! Yeah, I'm rolling in it. So once you have this set up for 2023, I like to just, once you have it set up, I personally recommend take a step back and then think about your objectives for going into the next year. These objectives can include debt management or debt payoff. This can include your savings goals. It could also include if you want to pick up any assets or an investment. Pardon me. So, for example, one of my most immediate financial goals for 2024 is to pay off that credit card balance of $1,800. Just for this is something else that I do, by the way. Please keep in mind this is a little bit different from what is most conventionally done. I've got a credit line through Navy Fed with a super low interest rate. I have personally not paid that off in total for like 5 years now, just because I try and keep an active balance going and doing payments on it to build my credit score. Last I checked, I believe that I was at like 746 or 750. So that's something that I do. In most situations, you know, especially if it's like doodad debt, just pay it off as quick as you can. But in this case, I'm doing things differently for myself. So keep this in mind. One quick disclaimer. I'm not a financial advisor. This is for educational and entertainment purposes. Additionally, when it does come to actual financial advice, it needs to be according to your personal situation. Even if you are speaking with a personal financial advisor, please do your own due diligence. Take your time to build your own education. Remember, they're going to look after their interests. They're supposed to look after your interests, but by being familiar with this kind of thing, you'll better be able to discuss with them, talk about objectives, communicate what you want to do. Don't get boxed into what the majority of people are doing. Oh, hello there, buddy. Sorry, my cat over here has decided that he's going to occupy my lap. What a sweet buddy. All right. So once again, different objectives. So I want to pay off or pay down the majority of that credit card. I'll probably leave like $100 on there. Savings. So for my purposes for savings, I want to continue to build up my war chest here. So this is another thing too that I'll talk about is when it comes to saving. I like to keep in mind, use this phrase, saving with a purpose. So for example, I have my emergency fund, not displayed on here. I have my realty account, and then I have my war chest. So the war chest, and the reason I call it that, it's a slang term used by huge investors, corporate raiders, Robert icon individuals. I like to use that just for my own financial psychology. So I'm not just saving to hoard this cash away and then it'll be sitting there burning a hole in my pocket, wanting me to spend it on some doodad bullshit or go on a big vacation. No, what I'm looking to do with that is I want to build this savings account up with a purpose. So the purpose behind this is to have cash on hand to either pick up another hard asset, such as a duplex or maybe a small private business. Additionally, when it comes to my stock account, I may make some contributions in that this year if I see a good buying opportunity. For myself, one of the other reasons why I haven't put a lot of money into the stock market is it's mostly just been going sideways. And I haven't seen a whole lot of opportunities that I want to buy into. So didn't make the contribution. Once again, this is how I personally set things up. Do things in accordance with your own goals and objectives, and also what works best for you and your psychology. So that's my 2023. As best as I feel comfortable sharing with you all. I hope you did enjoy this kind of content. And also, here's to a new year for 2024. I'm going to be doing some market updates regarding the commodities market, the banking situation. Probably this is going to be right around the 15th of the month, or I may wait until the end of the month. So go ahead and subscribe. If you enjoyed the video, please go ahead and like the video. If you do subscribe, do it now. Also, go ahead and ring the bell and select all for the notifications. If you have any other questions or thoughts, or if there's something that you want to share, especially if you have a financial tracker that you enjoy, please go ahead and drop that down in the comments below. And here's to a new year, and take care. Oh, sorry, I went to hang up without sharing a message from Ragnarok. Ragnarok, what do you have to share? I am the void. All right. Sweet, buddy. Anyhow, now have a good rest of your 2020.